We've made discipleship optional. Mm-hmm. We've made that consecration of yourself. That be holy as I am holy. Like we've made that stuff optional.
So the greatest threat to the next generation is not persecution; it's prosperity without remembrance.
I know someone who owns a cattle on 1,000 hills.
Yeah.
And if it's for me, if he's got it for me, he's got it.
Right.
And I don't have to walk around and got my head low and pretend like, no, man, if he's got it for me, he's got it for me.
It's that thing of, I think sometimes as believers we're too miracle dependent as opposed to having responsible obedience. Because some of us are praying for a miracle and the Lord's like, I've given you the principle.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Back again.
Back again.
Hope you guys had a great President's Day weekend.
Yes. When they're watching this, they would have had a President's Day weekend.
Like,
does it?
Why do we have President's Day? I mean, I'm not saying like. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I should have kept that thought inside. But
it's a historical thing, I think.
I mean, I get it. Like,
I mean, it's
cool.
It's day off. It's it's like when you think about, and some people do it differently. So that some people are just gonna have this 4-day weekend, but other people are gonna have next week all week off.
Dude, my kids have 4 days off, and I'm like,
bro,
can y'all go back to school?
What are you gonna do? Can you all go back to school?
I love y'all,
please,
man. But yeah,
that's crazy.
President's Day weekend. Hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Come on now.
Did you do anything special for Valentine's Day? I mean, well, because when we're filming this, whatever, are you doing something special?
We're going to go see a movie.
Let's go, dude.
It's for the kids. It's like there's like a basketball movie out from Steph Curry. It's called something to go. I don't know, it's something.
Okay.
It's like an animated basketball movie, and so it's came out this weekend, and Zion's been like stoked for this movie for like months.
Love it, dude.
So yeah, going on Friday. Went on Friday, and so we're doing that. And Friday, I'll take the boys. We'll get some flowers from mom.
Okay.
Get some flowers from mom, and definitely do a deep clean for the house from mama. And then I will take the boys out the house for at least for a good portion of the day.
I'm gonna be controversial right here, dude.
Mom wants to have time away from the boys. So.
I got it. That's great. Time away. Mom wants some mom time.
Mom wants some non-kid time.
Okay. So I'm gonna be controversial.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Why is Valentine's Day about the lady?
I don't know I don't think it always has. Well, I don't know.
I mean, like, right? Because you're doing like same thing. I'm gonna get Aaron flowers and do all the sweet things and all that stuff, what about us dudes?
I could give a very inappropriate answer, but I don't know if I should.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't.
Okay.
But I don't know, gentlemen. Be nice to your women.
For sure.
Women, be nice to your gentlemen.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. What even is Valentine's Day? Forget President's Day. What's Valentine's Day?
Isn't it? Is it a saint? Is it a Catholic saint?
Saint Valentine.
Saint Valentine.
Yeah.
Is it like love? A love?
But why do we have like?
It's capitalism.
It's a Hallmark holiday, dude.
It's a Hallmark holiday.
They need to sell more cards. So
if you had to get rid of Valentine's or Halloween, which would you get rid of?
Oh, dude, you can't. I don't know if I could say because it's a Christian.
That's
podcast.
Right.
Okay, people are like, "Oh, you celebrate Halloween? It's a pagan holiday." This is what I'd say. I'd get rid of. I would change him. I would change it.
Flip flop them?
I wouldn't flip flop them. So then on Halloween,
on Valentine's Day we all dress up.
You both get candy on Halloween and
on.
I would actually probably do, instead of Halloween, I'd call it like let's dress up and throw parties day.
Harvest Fest.
Harvest Fest. Did you grow up with Harvest
Fest?
Dude,
I had quite a few Harvest Fests growing up.
I know you did.
I didn't go to a Halloween thing until I was in high school.
Wow.
So,
man,
so,
I grew up with Halloween.
Had a lot of church Harvest Fest, and
I didn't get saved till I was older though. But our other church did Harvest thing for a while. We did them a Halloween. Saw it as like an outreach thing.
Yeah.
Some people get. I mean, real like. It's that thing of if you're celebrating Halloween, we're not even talking about what we should be talking about. But if you're celebrating Halloween for the paganness of it all, then yeah, that's wrong. But
I gave that analogy in a sermon at young adults about, it was like just like the freedoms, and I was like just giving an analogy about some people get really mad about Halloween or not, and then like this guy after service like walked me down and gave me a 20-minute conversation about how Valentine Halloween is actually from Satan. I was like, okay, I understand, man, but also
Have you heard the things that there's as Christians, there are things that you reject, you redeem, or you receive.
Reject, redeem, or redeem. Receive, redeem.
And a lot of people are like, Halloween's like, for us as what it means to us today, it's one of those things you can definitely redeem, or whatnot. But
I mean, what's hard for me, I grew up, I don't think people know this about me, but I have like actually a really weird like legalist mindset, because I grew up in such a like gnarly household. Yeah. But like, because like for me, I just go, okay, well, if you want to play that game.
Oh no, exactly.
Then like, if like that, that's where it gets weird for me, because I'm like, okay, but if you actually want to get down to the brass tacks of it, then there's a lot of things that we celebrate that you're gonna have to put on the cutting room floor. Yep. So if you're not willing to have that, like, I've just that justice mindset of me just kind of jumps in. So I'm like, if you're not willing to have that conversation, then you just say you don't like Halloween, and I'm cool with that. I don't really like Halloween. I'm still scarred from my childhood, and I've talked to my therapist about it. I don't like Halloween either, but it's don't pretend like it's you know what I mean. The Lord is gonna smite us for getting Halloween candies.
It is funny. It is funny what we pick and choose, dude. Oh yeah. I was talking to, I think, our leadership school about this, or maybe not. I forget, but basically how a lot of
Halloween.
I know, right? We're gonna get into that if I have more time of it. But kind of along those lines, right? Of the stuff that people will double down on, like, I want my Sabbath. Mm-hmm. And Sabbath is not a command; it's a principle, right? Or it's like it's something that we get to partake in. Like, that's great. You hold so tightly to that, so you should also hold real tightly to the tithe, because same thing.
The Sabbath is a weird one, because
the weird thing.
People have turned it into the Sabbath is not for you.
No,
it's for the Lord.
Yeah.
So it's not this is my rest day of not working. I mean, it is, but it's the purpose of it is for you to have a dedication day to the Lord. So it's not this is my beach day.
Yeah.
And
this is the
my phone's on do not disturb all day.
You do not like true Sabbaths. You do nothing. But the other thing though with that is that here's the other thing is you work 6 days a week.
True.
And rest on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And people are like, I work 32 hours and this is way too much.
We sound a lot like we're kind of like get off my lawn type of guys.
We're like, this is no longer than if I had more time podcast.
Being at young adults, I realize a lot. I'm like, man, I'm old curmudgeon, dude. They're saying phrases. They said what was the phrase? Mel, what was the phrase they said that you told me not to say? Clock it. And I was like, what is clock it? Dude. And then I had to, man.
Yep.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Speaking of lawns, the Israelites had
Joshua 4.
Dude, so I cut so. I mean, I feel like the message itself had good depth, and like I went for it. But it's funny how much I actually have. The way I did it is I actually just clumped for, if I had more time, stuff that I just took out of each section. Yeah, I was like, boom, we're just gonna go right into that. So. It was, I mean, like the whole, like starting, the message, like, remind me again. The whole thing of, I don't know if you've heard this quote before, but people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught.
For sure.
Which I agree with to a point, but I think today actually people need to be taught more because they don't know anymore.
They haven't been taught at all.
And they haven't been taught at all. But again, it's the reminding of who the Lord is. So they go through the Jordan's dried up, so they take the 12 stones, they set up the 12 stones. So I went into that whole point, right, that's about remembrance.
Right.
But there's another 12 stones that I didn't talk about because we didn't have enough time. But it's in, I think, 4 verse 9. What is in 4, chapter 4? I think it's verse 9, where the Lord says to Joshua, take 12 stones and set them up where the priests are standing. So there's a stack of 12 and then a stack of 12. Now, 12 is significant in the number, 12 disciples, all of that. That's an important number. But you have the stones that each of the 12 tribes bring,
right.
or the stone each, so they stack those stones. The importance of altars in general, like it's building an altar, it's
right.
building a remembrance. You see it all throughout Scripture, where Jacob had an encounter with the Lord, and so he built an altar there.
Right.
So that way, when you would pass by these things, there was just constant visual reminders. And I think it's so important that, like, as believers, we do those things. And I don't think I did it, like, looking back, I didn't do it enough in my house, but I needed to. And it's funny, like, I can go back to, we all have these things, right? You can go back to your hometown, and you'll drive by and go, that's where we such and
Dude,
such.
I just drove by my childhood home, like, randomly, like, a week ago. It was,
Yeah.
like, super, just random, but, like, yeah.
And you'll probably do that when your kids are like a little bit older, and be like, oh, see, this is where Dad grew up. Like, those are those things that you do, but now it's, okay, but how is it attached to faith?
Wow.
You know, like, thinking through, like, this is, you'll get to give your kids, I don't know, do you still have your first camera?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in a box somewhere. But
It's in a box somewhere. You got it. Yeah. But this is this is when I felt like the Lord called me into creative.
Yeah.
And filmmaking, and this is more than just a camera. What this represents is what I've been able to do for the kingdom of God. Like, really understanding the stories that we tell to those things, right? And actually even putting it on display.
Yeah.
And when I got to go to the Sean Ryan show and just be in a studio, he has all this stuff set up, but everything has a story.
Right.
Now, it's not of the Lord, but it's a story of a war, a story of a gunfire, story because of, you know, his background as a SEAL and CIA, and et cetera. So I'm thinking that just from that mindset of, like, what 12 stones we stack. But okay, but there's a separate 12 stone that the Lord tells him to set up that's in the middle of the river. And you'd go, like, why set up another 12 stones in the middle of the river if it's just going to get covered over? And the point with that is, so for one, those 12 stones are actually like, they're like hidden at times of the other 12 stones, but it's that thing of it backs up the other 12 stones. So those 12 stones are meant for doubt and for drought.
Okay.
So
the ones in the river?
The ones in the river. So if you're ever doubting, well, what does it ever mean? Then, you know, like, did the Jordan really dry up?
Yeah.
Well, you actually have, like, a replica in the middle,
right,
that you eventually can see. You'll see portions of it on drier times, but the idea of drought, right, is when you would actually see it, when the river would be so low, you would see those stones.
Yeah.
And this is all historical, so this isn't like, it's not in, you know, in such and such book.
Sure.
But it, like, the theologians believe the purpose behind it would be, is that when you think about drought seasons in your life, you have to remember the Lord's faithfulness.
Right. Yeah.
When you're going through, if it's like rough times, hard seasons, the river's not flowing, and you're like, but he's still faithful.
Yeah.
He's still good. And I wanted to go there. I didn't. But because I think that's important too. Like, I can look back. Like, I feel like I have hidden stones in my house, and they're usually in journals. And I can, during hard times, I can look back to, oh, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's what he did.
That's really cool. Yeah, we just moved, and I found a bunch of journals. I kind of was opening up and reading them, and you like, oh man, like, yeah, you remember certain seasons of your life and stuff that you were going through, and you wrote down, or God moved, and those are cool. Those are cool.
And then I wanted to work through this part of it is, so, you know, you stack stones. Have you ever seen, like, as you drive down the
yeah with the coast highway,
the coast highway,
or not coast highway, but yeah, it's like state street.
Yeah, why can't I think of it? What's it? The wharf? It's not the wharf.
Well, the pier, but down by the
pier. Yeah,
I forget what the street's. I want to say State Street, but it's not State Street. It's
I know it's whatever. Well, there's Pacific, but then the street. Anyways, where people stack rocks.
Yeah,
because you have to, like, form. You don't just throw rocks into it. Like, you have to form it, especially if you're doing something right. And when I talked about us, like, I just breezed through this one, but, like, we are the church, and we're the living stones. So, So for the Israelites, they're looking back at the 12 stones, and they can relate to them because it's one of each of the tribes. So that's the tribe of Benjamin. That's our tribe. That's our stone. Like it connects you to what took place. Now we are being built into a house, as the Lord says, and as Paul writes, etc., of living stones. And we are, like Christ is the cornerstone, all of that. Now, but when you build a house of stones, and you've been to Israel, we've been to Israel, shout out, we're going to Israel, y'all should come. If you just are part of our online crew, you can still sign up to be a part of it. Maybe we'll drop a link in the comments.
Yeah, I'll put
the show
it in
notes.
the
Okay.
comments,
Most of the homes over there, they're not wood, they're stone. Because again, just the land that, very rocky, and they would remove the stones, use it to build houses and fences, and then it would remove from the soil. Actually, none of that matters what I'm talking about. But each stone would have to be chiseled, would have to be formed in order to create the house.
Right.
Now, Jesus, we're told, is a carpenter.
Right.
More than likely, he didn't work with wood.
Work with rocks.
He worked with rocks.
Tecton.
Tecton, and a stone mason.
Yeah.
And partly because he, so living in Nazareth, there was a rock quarry there.
Yeah. We just talked about this as young adult.
You
It's
just
like
talked
2
about-
weeks
yeah.
ago.
That's epic. Yeah. So he
Yeah.
is the stone mason that forms us, chisels away all of that. I covered this in a message years ago, I think, but so that he can stack us and form us into a house. And just understanding then the significance of, it's not just like, I just pick some rocks and that way we'll remember. No. It's, that's what we're connected to.
And it's hard work, chiseling and working the stone to what it needs to be to build the cornerstone of the house, and then build out all the pieces around it. Like that's a process. Yeah.
So when you think about this, right? When Jesus says, I will build my church. He said, I'm gonna chisel some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you all fit together.
Yeah.
It's gonna it's some work, discipleship.
It's not optional.
It's not optional.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So that got cut out.
Yeah.
But again, for us to realize from the remembrance piece, to understanding that that's why it's so important to be a part of church. Because it's like we all fit together and we all need to be together.
Right.
And it's not optional. The whole thing of you can be a Christian, not go to church. Well, technically, sure. But that's not what he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it for that. That was not the intention of it. Yeah. It was so that, and there's so much 12 stone moments, if you would, remembrances, Ebenezer's, as you call them, in the church when you're a part of a church for a long time, and when you know the other stones in the church. And we rob ourselves and we rob the future generations when we were not in church, and we're not in church regularly. I think we do our families and our kids a disservice to not know the other stones. It's the one thing that, when Aaron Graham came to our staff, so good, so good. But talked about again, because he said in his church there's 80 nations represented, because he's in Washington D.C. And it's a very cultural, multicultural church. And Washington D.C. is a trip.
It is a trip.
I'm about to get sidetracked. Never mind. But I think you asked the question about the diversity on purpose and all that stuff. And I loved what he said is that we want to work on this, but when you focus on this first, that's the centrality of our faith,
right?
Is Jesus. Every Christian, race, ethnicity, all of that, that's the thing that we have first and foremost, is that. And then once we connect on that, then we can celebrate the differences in culture. I thought that was brilliant, man.
Yeah.
But I think that's why we need it. And I think that's part of our formation. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Is to be around other believers who are different than us. They don't believe different, but think different, background's different, gifting's different. That stuff is just it's so beautiful when it's all put together. And again, with the broader spectrum, like not going too far from Joshua 4, but thinking back into the whole idea of being stones, and just that connection there. Jesus says, "In my house, there's many rooms." Right.
Right.
Just the whole the house picture that he paints is so wild, and we think about all the different things that are in a house, different rooms in a house. Like not every room's the living room. You know what I mean? Like so I just love the difference that the church, the different backgrounds, different cultures, etc. That the church should experience and be a part of. I went way off base, but not way, but that's just where I was kind of like. And then we rolled into circumcision. Cheers.
On child dedication weekend.
Yeah, wait a minute. Are you dedicating children, or are we? Which who did the circumcising back in those days? It was the priests.
Well,
no thanks.
That's old testament. That's old covenant, dog. We in a new covenant now.
Lord, new covenant. But man, dear Lord. But yeah, I had to. And circumcision is a weird one to talk about in church, but it's written a lot about in the Bible. So here's the thing I left out with that one, because I really, drove home that identity piece, and that's important. Getting for them to understand that they're completely done. They're covenant people,
right?
But they circumcise 600,000 fighting men,
right?
So they cross over into enemy territory. And the first thing they do is
incapacitate.
Severely weaken your fighting men. That's like they go over there in that like radical vulnerability.
Yeah.
Now, for them, they remember the story of Genesis 34. And what happens in Genesis 34, I was trying to recount this with our school of leadership as I was talking to them about sermon preparation, and I could not remember who I messed up. I was like, King David. It wasn't King David, because I was like, why would they remember King David? They didn't remember. But anyways, so in Genesis 34, so Jacob's daughter, Dinah, she's violated. She's raped by Shechem, who's the priest. I believe is the priest or the son of Hamor. Anyways, so Shechem rapes her, but then he wants to marry her. He's like, I want that woman. So this is what Jacob does. Jacob's the deceiver.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of that deception in him.
Yeah.
Right? So he goes, now, oh man, too many layers. But so it's not Jacob that deceives, but it's his sons. You got to be careful what you pass on to your children. But okay, anyways. So Jacob's sons, they respond with deception.
Right.
And they told the men of the city, they said, look, we can only intermarry if every male among you is circumcised. So all the men agreed.
Yeah.
Because women were beautiful.
Right.
They're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
As the young people say, bet.
Yeah. I don't even know if they.
I don't know if they say that.
I get nervous now saying slang. I'm like, how did I just date myself?
I said something the other day at youth, because I've been helping out with our youth ministry.
I heard about that,
and they were like,
"Yeah."
I was like, "Oh gosh." I was
like,
"What do they say?"
I didn't hear about
that. I was like, "Okay." That's sorry, young people. Sorry, parents, if I just scarred any of your children. But yeah. Anyways. So they all agreed, right? No, it was on the third day, while they're still in pain.
Yeah.
Simeon and Levi, they enter the city and they kill everyone.
All. Yeah.
And then they plunder the city.
Yeah.
So you've got that in your mind. You know that story. In the distance, is Jericho. and you know that they've like there's trained that like all these guys aren't really trained soldiers.
Yeah.
They're going to do their best they can, right? But
Right.
and they're all now just incapacitated.
Yeah.
So it speaks to that. They go over, and the first act 1 is something that like the Lord's like, you're going to feel this.
Right.
They're going to understand that like you're entering, there's like the pain and the promise. And you're going to be incredibly vulnerable. And not only, so you have to trust me. You had to trust me to cross the river.
Right. Dependence.
Yeah. And now you have to trust me in your vulnerability. And know that I'm going to protect you from any enemy.
Right.
What a lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Like what a lesson to learn to go, like I'm going to be, I mean, circumcision in itself, that's why it's supposed to be done on the 8th day, which is the Lord. It's amazing because that's when your blood clots and all that stuff. The Lord knows. But now as a grown man, to go through that,
Right.
that pain,
Right.
on the most vulnerable part of who you are,
Right.
sensitive part of who you are. And all right, Lord, cut me, and now you're going to protect me. And that's what the Lord does. It's like anything that, and that's something we have to allow the Lord to do, is anything that we think we are strong enough in or can do ourselves or any of that, we have to be willing to be vulnerable and let the Lord cut what he needs to cut.
Right.
And trust him for protection.
Yeah.
It's never fun.
Right.
But it's necessary.
It's necessary. And I think that like I think we've made that part of being a believer optional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've made carrying our cross optional.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's mandatory. We've made discipleship optional.
Mm-hmm.
We've made, that consecration of yourself, that, you know, be holy as I am holy. Like we've made that stuff optional. And it's like that is.
We've made staying a slave optional, bro. And that's the whole reason why the whole generation died off.
Yeah.
It's because the Lord's like, I'm not letting, that mindset, it can't come in here. It can't come, like it has to go. And with that, and that's hard. That's hard to break that. It like we've made it, like you said, optional. Oh, you're saved. Okay, that's cool. You can keep in your slave to sin mentality.
Right.
And he's like, Lord's like, nah.
Well, yeah, it just makes me wonder, like, how many of us are, you know, we're believers and whatnot, but we are stuck in the desert, stuck in the wilderness.
Stuck in the wilderness, dude.
Like these people, God's like, they were delivered from, you know, Egypt. They saw God do all these things. They saw Moses, and they're still God's chosen people, but they didn't get into the promised land.
No,
like, they didn't get the fullness of it.
No,
they didn't get you know, they got to see God move and do things, and the fire and the cloud and all of this stuff, and like yet their then in the line for them was being in the desert.
Because I mean that's why it speaks so importantly to that we have to as believers, we have to understand that we're not victims, we're victorious. That we're not like I said, the scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset. Like there's so many things that we allow ourselves and that we allow other people to live in. And so they let their because it's real. Like I don't want to discount anyone's past pain.
Sure.
Trauma, all of that stuff is real. But when we talked about this, I think the last one, you got to deal with it.
Right.
Sometimes it's deliverance, and a lot of times it's like dealing with it. It's therapy. It's working through it. You have to get that out of you. And they didn't. They just kept going back into it. So they would see the miracles, and they would go back into whining and complaining, and they would go back into victim mentality of we're not going to be able to do this. We're grasshoppers, right? As opposed to No, like you got to believe the Lord. You got to do it. And so they forgot who God was.
Yeah.
Which is again why he's telling them to remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
They forgot who they were.
Mm.
And they in Numbers 13 they refused to step into the promise. So the second generation they're telling them, remember, like we talked about, remember who God is, remember who you are, and remember why you're here. Like you have to walk into inheritance. Like you get to do this. And so many of us are just okay with staying like, well, at least I'm saved, or we stay in that victim mentality. We're probably being repetitive here because I think we did talk about this last week, but I'm like, you have to get up and go eventually.
Yeah.
You got to stand up and move ahead. You got to forge ahead. Quit. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it matters for the other generation.
Well, it's again, and you talked about this before, but the fruit isn't for the tree. And so much of even just making it practical about like from like a parenting perspective, right?
Right.
So much of the things that you deal with or don't deal with are going to impact your kids.
Yes.
And I would say likewise within your church, some of the things, or in your community, right, or in your friend group, the things that you don't deal with, they impact the people around you. And so, yes, there's an element of it that like we're accountable for our own actions and what we do and whatnot, right? But there also is, again, I think part of the community piece is it's like what we refuse to deal with and what we choose to let linger and fester in the camp,
right?
Has an impact greater than just ourselves.
Yes.
And there's this. I think sometimes people do make the whole like generational curse thing maybe a little bit too weird.
Oh, yep.
But I believe there is an element though of like passing down things and again just not dealing with certain things that I do think. I think it happens in our family, but there's certain, I think we talked about this a couple, but I think there's just certain areas even that we see certain kind of strongholds, spiritual strongholds, and maybe in certain like geographical locations that just has to do with like, man, someone in this area, someone in this city needs to stand up and go, we're not dealing with this anymore. We're going to confront this head on. Yep. And if they do that, that impacts, obviously not just them, but the area, the people around them.
Exactly. Yeah, like if you even think I'm trying to like getting into my historical mind through the recesses of all the different stuff. I'm trying to think about a particular area where, this is terrible, but even just from the standpoint of there's certain places that are unlivable because of something that is there, whether it's a particular like mineral, gas, etc. Right. So you have to remove that in order for it to be livable. I was trying to come up with an example in my mind. I can't right now. This is also the late night. This is the after dark. This is Thursday night after dark. But like, and that's same within our families. There are things that you got to get out. You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that in the fabric of your family and where that goes next. And so, so much of it is, we could get into that. Like there's some stuff that just in the family, especially as a head of household, as a dad, that you need to repent of, and not privately, but publicly to your family.
Yeah, that's good.
Like dad did this, dad has struggled with this. This is not okay.
Yeah.
Anger issues, like how many angry dads create other angry dads.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of that stuff that you sow into your kids. So that's, you gotta get that out, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get that stuff out. Don't stay a slave, man. Don't stay a slave to sin. And then the ending of this message, I kind of cruised through it, but man, it's such a weird way if you think about it, it's not a weird way, but it's I mean, of course it's capping, but you're going in, you just experience this massive miracle, like you get circumcised. That hinders things.
Yeah.
This whole thing is actually now that I think about it, this is like a momentum killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
you got momentum, man. You're crossing the Jordan, and then they're like, wait, okay, let's pick up rocks and make an altar. All right, okay, but we're getting into the Jericho. Yeah, well, hold on, though. Jericho's cool, but we got to circumcise y'all. Mm-hmm. Okay, now are we going to go? Nope. No, now we're going to celebrate the Passover. Eat of the fruit of the land, right? Like, there's this, talk about, like, totally. Halting things
for sure,
because the Lord isn't about momentum. He's about moments. Well, that's good. Maybe I might actually say it. If you're listening to the Sunday message, you might have got that one. Yeah. But he's about moments and us sitting in these moments and realizing these things. So they celebrate they celebrate the Passover. So before they have their conquest, before Jericho, before any of that, they remember the blood.
Mm-hmm. And what he did. Right.
Delivering him. And it's that thing of, now for us, the Passover is ultimately, I mean, we still celebrate the Passover and Easter, but we can actually celebrate Easter more than we know when we take communion.
Right.
Right. And so, and I do talk about that, but they stopped to celebrate. Now, what's interesting, right, is that's what sent them into what the Passover was ultimately what was supposed to send them into the promised land in the beginning. So they should have celebrated one Passover, hung in the desert for, I think that it was like a total, like maybe 40 some days or whatever they're going to be there, and then entered the promised land. Instead it was 40 years. So here's 40 years later, they're celebrating the Passover before they go and like take the land now. Yeah. They're in the land, but they're going to take the land. So it's just this crazy bookend thing of, it's like even the timing of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like timing of getting into the like getting the original Passover. Now the timing again of, now we're celebrating the Passover, but we're in it now.
Yeah.
We're doing it. And, so remembering again who he is massively part of it, but it's that the Passover, it's his sacrifice. It's his blood. This is why we get to do what we get to do. And so what an insult so then they eat of the fruit of the land. What an insult when we don't.
Come on.
You know, like what, like, oh, thank you for your sacrifice. Forget your promises. For like, he didn't, like, that's the thing is he didn't just die to save you.
Right.
Like his death broke curses. His death brings healing. Yeah. His death brings wholeness. Yeah. His full completeness of who you are, restoration, all of that stuff. And so to look at it is actually an insult. Right. And not take it. Not to take part in it. So I love it says that they ate. Yeah. After their Passover, they ate of the fruit of the land. They make some bread and stuff. Which, how crazy, after all you've done is eaten manna your entire life.
40 years.
For 40 years, dude.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of like, man, you're no longer wandering. You're now inheriting. And it shows that their mindset had changed because they're like, I'll take that. Yeah. And too many, like, I'm not like prosperity theology guy. Sure. But I am like, if the Lord has it for me. Yeah. If the Lord's got beautiful marriage for me, I'm going to take that. If the Lord's got kingdom business ideas, I'm going to take that. Like,
you know, I think what's funny, and I've had this thought before, but even you just saying this now. So I want to formulate this thought well. The enemy distorts things, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Distorts truth, and then through that distortion of it, kind of leads us astray. Obviously, the idea of the prosperity gospel is a distortion, and it's like it's not. Yeah. Like that's not the gospel, right? There's a practicality of that. That's not biblical truth. But I do think sometimes, especially over the last maybe 15, 20 years or so, there's also been another distortion where like it's become like we look at the idea of prosperity as not of God either. And it's it's like, listen, yeah, there's not the prosperity gospel and like the Lord wants you to be happy, wealthy, and you know, and healthy. And that's that's you being in the will of God. No, like that's not true. But there is an element of like, man, being his children, there is a prosperity that we, and sometimes it could be physical, but a lot of times it's, it's spiritual, or, it's again, being made whole and whatnot, mentally and whatnot. But like, I think about it like this, like, when my boys come in the house, they go in the cupboard.
Yeah.
They eat the cereal.
When they go into our house, they go to the cupboard.
That's true. but like, it's like, hey man, this is your house.
Yeah.
This is, like, I mean, there's sometimes I'm like, hey, okay, that's too much. But like, there's no like, oh, Dad, would it be okay if I drink some water?
Right,
like, no, like this, you know what I mean? Like there is a inheritance being a part of the family and being a son in our household. And there's an inheritance, I believe, in just us being believers of like, there's a confidence and a boldness of like, again, this is how I'm raised, but like, I know someone who owns a cattle on 1,000 hills.
Yeah.
And if it's for me, if he's got it for me, he's got it for me.
Right.
And I don't have to walk around and got my head low and pretend like, no, man, if he's got it for me, he's got it for me. And like, that's part of sonship. That's part of daughtership. And I think there needs to be more of a boldness that believers have of like, again, it's up to the Lord what he does and what he doesn't do. But first off, I'm gonna ask, because I have that he has given me the right to ask.
Yes.
So why would I not ask?
Why would you not?
And if he gives it to me, I don't have to be ashamed of having it.
No.
My dad said I could have it.
Yeah. Well, let's take it back to the whole getting slavery out of you, right? So from a slavery mindset to a steward mindset. Because here's the great thing. Like, stewards get to use it all, but they don't own it.
Right.
Like, Zion didn't buy that food.
Right.
Your boy didn't buy that.
That's right.
Like you didn't, like Isaiah didn't. Isaiah didn't pay for his bed, but he gets to sleep in it.
That's right.
And when you talk to him, it's like, oh, this is my bed.
This is my bed. Yeah.
Like all of these things, they get full access. Like we have, like, if we started actually to see it more like that, right? Because right now we see that, oh, this is my car, right? It's like, no, it's the Lord's car. You just get to use it. This is the Lord's house. You get to live in it. You get to, right? Like this is my money. No, that's the Lord's money. He lets you keep 90 of it. Yeah. Like, oh wow. Yeah. It's just such a flip. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, this is his. And I really am just a son in the house. And that means that Dad's covering it. Yeah. Like your boys, my kids, etc. Like, well, now they're all grown up, but like they're not tripping out. Like, Dad, are we making mortgage this month? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some of you guys though have grown up in those houses where your dad let you know that you weren't making mortgage that month. But you're a healthy dad. You're good. They're not like, Dad, is the car gonna work? Yeah. They're just totally. They're more like, they open up the cupboard and they're like, where are the Pop-Tarts? Right. I know. We didn't get those. We need more flavors. These are the flavors I like. My bad, dude. And not that we want to be spoiled. Like, no, for sure. But that's the thing. It's like, I think it's just it has to be. We have to flip that. Yeah. But again, as we mature, and this is where they get to, like, so there's no more manna. And so it's the maturity of going, okay, so I'm part of this family, I'm part of this deal. So now, okay, if I'm going to eat from the land, I'm going to work the land. I'm going to participate in this. Like I got to empty the dishwasher and take out the trash. Like those are you start getting chores and stuff in the house. But that's the thing of going, okay, now there's no more manna, so that speaks to maturity, and I do go into that. But here's where I wanted to like go into it more, is that there is they go from daily supernatural rescue, and I do hit that, right? To now they're participating, they're stewarding the supernatural promises of God. They're stewarding what's in the land, but it's that thing of, I think sometimes as believers we're too miracle dependent as opposed to having responsible obedience.
That's good.
Because some of us are praying for a miracle, and the Lord's like, I've given you the principle.
Right. Ooh, that's good.
God, please come through in my finances. He's like, I've given you principles on how to use those things.
That's so good.
Lord, I need a miracle in my health. And he's like, yeah, I've given you principles on how to take care of yourself physically. And you don't. And Lord, I need a miracle in my marriage. I've given you principles.
That's so good.
And so a lot of times, it's like, well, you got to get past the manna now. There's a manna stage in people's lives where you're spoon fed.
Right.
It's just like in parenting. There's where you spoon feed your kids, but there comes a point where you pull back a little bit and you're like, all right, now it's time to run.
Yeah.
It's time for you guys to do it.
That's really good.
And so getting to that place of like, man, I'm actually glad that I'm not dependent on manna. I've got options. But those options require my participation and my work in it.
Yeah.
So it's a maturity piece for them to go, the manna stops and we're good with it. Because that's yesterday's miracles. Or
well, how often do we read the opposite? We'll sit and be stationary because we're holding on to what God did in the yesteryears.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And instead of stepping out into the next season, we will stop and stay. We will choose to stay in the wilderness because that's where the manna is.
Because you want to stay on manna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And missing out what God has for you.
I mean, and that's great. You can pick up and eat manna. I mean, you couldn't anymore because it stopped. But or you could go hunting.
Yeah, for sure.
I think too many of us sit in a place where we're dependent. And again, I'm signs, wonders, and miracles guy, 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm also like principle and obedience guy.
Sure.
And I think it's hugely necessary. And when you look at the way the Lord, there's so many great actually parenting principles throughout that whole thing, and with it being child dedication weekend and stuff, I try to pull some of that in. But if look at the way the Lord disciplines and loves and provides for and corrects and connects and all of that throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And thinking, okay, how can we be as much like the Lord as possible within our kids' lives? Of understanding, okay, how can I continually remind them who they are?
Yeah.
What they were made for.
Right.
How can we as parents mature them to the point to where they're not dependent on manna? How can we, and I don't think, honestly, generationally, culturally, we've actually done a good job of that, of setting people up, and probably even within the church too. But, how can we continue to set up 12 stones in our homes, as reminders of this is who God is and what he's done. And this is who you are in it. And this is what you were made to do.
And you can see the difference.
Yeah.
I used to coach, kids basketball, and you could tell the difference with the kids when their parents were, they were scared to fail in front of their parents. They had that scarcity kind of you know what I mean? Versus what it was like, no, you take the shot. You know what I mean? And I just feel again, from a practical parenting standpoint, for sure, but even just from a you're around certain believers and you can see the difference. Some people understand the authority
that's good
that God has, and that He has again allowed us as sons and daughters to have, and we get to approach the throne and call, like you're around some people, you go, oh, they get it, they understand.
Yep.
And that slavery, that slavery scarcity mindset versus the mindset that is, I'm a child of God. I like, He calls me His own.
Yep.
And He is, I have the ability to approach the throne with boldness. Like there's just, it's hard to explain, but when you see it, when you're around it and you feel it, there is such a difference.
Yep.
And, like you said, we have to do a better job, so much better job in our families, but also just in our church contexts of teaching people, moving people out of a scarcity mindset as believers, because I think for where we're going next as a nation, as a people, as a church in this nation, when we can't be, walking around with the scarcity slave mindset,
No. And we can't, like, one of the points I really liked making was in Deuteronomy, when he says, do not forget the Lord your God, because you're about to go into a land and eat crops that you did not plant, like
right.
homes that you did not build. Like, this is the whole thing. And the quote afterwards that I say is basically, it's not persecution that is that for this next generation. It's not necessarily we need to be scared of persecution. It's the idea that, I gotta remember how I said it, because understanding all of this stuff, it always comes back to, we have to remember the Lord, right? So the greatest threat to the next generation is not persecution; it's prosperity without remembrance.
Yeah.
Because the Lord says, man, a land with large flourishing cities you didn't build, houses filled with all kinds of good things you did not provide, wells you didn't dig, vineyards and olive groves you didn't plant.
Yeah.
And then when you eat and are satisfied, be careful that you don't forget the Lord who brought you out of Egypt and then out of the land of slavery. And we're prone to forget. And so that's that.
I was going to say, it's funny because knowing the history for us, but knowing the Israelites,
what they do, they go.
They consistently get brought out. God delivers them, and then they forget.
They have it's called the cycle of apostasy.
Yeah,
God blesses. They love Him, excited. They get caught up in the good things of the Lord.
Yeah, which
then they get lazy. They forget who He is, and they find themselves in sin. Then they find themselves in
captivity,
judgment. Captivity. All that stuff, which then causes them to repent and get back to the goodness of God. So it's like they just do this over and over again, and we do it all the time in our life as well too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, man, I can't, if I'm in a time of prosperity, I'm grateful to the Lord.
What's interesting, like thinking about that thought process, is like, I think we actually do a better job of building those monuments and altars in seasons of need, right? Because it's like, but like we need to equally build those altars and monuments in seasons of plenty.
Yep.
Because just as easy as it is to, need Him and or maybe get angry or whatever and walk away, how easy is it for us to get high off the hog, like my dad used to say.
Yeah.
And you thinking, I got this financial blessings because of how hard I worked, how smart I am, how much time, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like we will forget the goodness of God.
Yep.
And so I think those monuments, those altars that we build need to equally be in moments of plenty, because we need to remember that it's not me, it's not us. That I need to be just as dependent on the Lord when I have much. That's what Paul says, Philippians, right? Philippians 4. Yeah. I've had much and I've had little, right?
There's a plenty or want.
And like in both, you need to have that remembrance for the Lord.
We got to be careful because the blessing can become the curse really quickly. And that's or we forget, or we'll start off with like two things. One is that like you said something that just hit my heart in the right way. Cause we were talking about some unforeseen charges and unforeseen, things coming up, with our house and you're talking about the same thing, and you go, but just remember, we prayed for this.
That's right.
We did. We we prayed for it. And it's like, all right, so we prayed for it. Lord grant, okay. Yeah. We prayed for this. And a lot of times, but all of a sudden, if we don't have that mindset, right, then it's like
you can start to complain.
Oh man, you were complaining about it, and they're like, what?
The Lord's.
like the Israelites, they asked for manna and then they start to complain about manna, and the Lord's like, okay, well, what, but the other thing too is that what we can do is in the seasons of prosperity, we're like, oh, this is going to be for the Lord. I'm going to use this for the Lord, and then you don't, or you stop using it for the Lord, or you, man, God, I know so many people are like, man, God bless me with this car, and I'm just, man, I just want to use it for His kingdom, whatever you guys need. And then it's like, oh, nah. Yeah. You can't use it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or man, God, the Lord blessed us with this amazing house. Yeah. We're going to just use it for the kingdom. Yeah. And then it's like, are we having people over tonight? Nah. Hey, can we host group at your house? Nah,
Yeah, totally.
You're like, oh, okay. So I guess it really wasn't for the Lord then. Interesting. Yeah. Very telling. Yeah, man. Joshua.
It's good.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Let's go. Chapter.
If you made it to the end here, drop stones in the comment. Stones.
I like it.
Man. Next week,
Jericho.
The
start of Jericho anyways.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Should be good.
It should be good.
Real good.
Should be good. But tune in, share this, this, comment on this, give financially to this.
It's not up there, but I want you guys to know we didn't get to our 4.
Oh, bro.
Let me see. I think we may have got to 9. We got some work to do. YouTube crowd.
YouTube
people. We got some. Let me see.
If you're listening on Spotify right now, pop onto YouTube.
We're still there.
Dude, pop onto YouTube and go subscribe. Come on.
Don't make me take it away for a week. No, that was my very dad brain.
That's your dad moment.
Let me take away your YouTube for a week.
Yeah, I know.
But we're thankful for all of you. We really are. Continuing to see this thing continue to grow and impact more people. I love it. So many times now. I've had more people talk to me in the last 8 months at church than the previous before? 5 years combined. Yeah. But people every time, man, we love the podcast. It's so cool. It encourages us. And so, man, just to know that it is impacting people and people are watching and or listening, Spotify, Apple listeners, that it's blessing you guys, man. We appreciate that. And we're continually dreaming about how to continue to expand this platform. And
we're trying to hire right now.
A lot.
We're trying to hire a lot, but in particular, when it comes to creative, we need a project manager, a creative project manager.
Yep.
So you don't so if you're interested, let us know.
If you're a video editor,
come
through. Project manager.
And let me just this is more for I'm jumping into like what you should probably be describing. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it isn't like you necessarily need to be a hyper creative person.
Yeah, I think this is something we're battling.
You just need to project manage.
I think people hear creative team and they automatically think, cameras or editing, whatnot. But man, I'll put this. I'll always explain it. You ever watch? You go to your favorite movie. You watch the credits at the end. Man, there's so many roles. There's copywriters. There's people who are in finance and business, and there's people who are doing building and construction. Because when you're building a film, you're doing something creative. There's so many different roles. It's not just people with the cameras, the people on the editing and stuff. And so, same thing. What we're building here on a team, man. We need people who have different skills and mindsets. So
administrative.
If you're administrative, if you're a person who's good at problem solving, and delegating, making stuff happen. Your brain just works that way. We are in desperate need. So holla at your boy. I'm easy to find.
Yeah.
And we're definitely.
Do we have that posted? Do we have that?
We actually have we're
Are we about to post?
we're about to
it?
post. Yeah. There's a conversation we're getting ready to have, but yeah,
Do it.
our team is growing in a lot of different ways. So reach out to me.
Good
Good stuff.
All right.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week if I have more time.
Peace.
Peace.